The 800-pound man lay dead for 3 days before anyone noticed. It wasn't until someone called the police that firefighters finally arrived. After covering the body with a sheet, they prepared to send him to the crematorium. But just then, something bizarre happened. A loud fart made the firefighters burst into laughter. No one knew who had released such a loud and smelly gas. They jokingly accused each other, but no one would admit to it. At that moment, another fart sound came from the bed. This made the firefighters realize that the previous fart had actually come from the dead man. None of them could believe it. To confirm his suspicion, the captain lifted the shroud and pressed his ear against the man's chest, trying to hear if there was a heartbeat. Surprisingly, due to the man's excessive fat, the captain couldn't detect any heartbeat. He then reached into the man's pants to check for a pulse in his femoral artery. Something miraculous happened. The captain seemed to feel a faint throbbing. In an effort to save his life, the firefighters worked together and rushed him to the hospital. However, the doctors were also baffled. No matter what methods they tried, they couldn't revive the man. After learning about the situation, Jack suspected that the man might have suffered a stroke or a brain hemorrhage. He decided to perform an MRI scan, but when they tried to wheel him into the examination room, another problem arose. The machine had a maximum weight limit of 400 pounds, but the man weighed a staggering 800 pounds. Even lifting him onto the machine required multiple people, let alone the risk of damaging the equipment. Fortunately, Jack took full responsibility, and the other doctors gathered enough staff to carefully lift the man onto the scanner. So far, everything seemed to be going smoothly, and everyone breathed a sigh of relief. But just as the scan began, an unexpected incident occurred. The man suddenly woke up, tore off his oxygen tube, and began thrashing violently due to the narrow space of the machine. Within seconds, the expensive MRI machine was damaged beyond repair from his movements. When the news reached the hospital director, she immediately confronted Jack in her office. Thanks to a colleague stepping in to mediate, the director didn't lose her temper completely. But to figure out what was really wrong with the man, Jack and his team held an in-depth discussion. Some thought it was an endocrine disorder, while others suspected an unhealthy lifestyle. But there was no concrete evidence. Seeing that no one had a clear answer, Jack decided to conduct further examinations. However, when they entered the patient's room, the man insisted that he was perfectly healthy and demanded to be discharged immediately, eager to go home and have a proper meal. Given his massive size, the doctors were powerless to stop him and could only watch as he walked away. But in the very next moment, another unexpected event occurred.